My name is Michael Sun, and here today I'm with James Gibson. We would like to nominate Mr. David Walsh for the 2017 Marist of the Year.
Mr. Walsh displays all 5 of the Marist charisms and is also an inspiring person of faith through his everyday Christian actions.
So James, what are the 5 Marist charisms?
Well, 5 Marist charisms include simplicity, love of work, family spirit, in the way of Mary, and presence.
Presence is always showing up, not just being there but actually contributing. It's having openness and caring about people.
Simplicity is being genuine and straightforward. It is being honest to others and not bending the truth. It is also focusing on more important things like faith rather than money and possessions.
Love of work is having confidence in God. It's loving what you do and being prepared to roll up your sleeves. It is being motivational to others and helping them to be a better person.
Family spirit is looking at everybody as your family. It is being equitable and fair to all people in the community. It is working together and helping each other up.
In the way of Mary is self-explanatory. It is looking at Mary as a role model and trying to follow her footsteps as a person who loves God. Mr. Walsh displays all 5 of the charisms.
But don't just take our word for it. Let's go and ask some other teachers about what they think of Mr. Walsh.
So I would just like you to ask you a few questions about Mr. Walsh, starting with, how did you know him?
Mr. Walsh has been here for a long time at the school. I'm an ex-student of the school. Mr. Walsh was here while I was at school. He's always very friendly, always willing to go his way to meet other people, chat and greet them as well. I also knew him as a member of staff. When I was learning to become a teacher, Mr. Walsh was there, provide me with, just some sort of experience building, skill building as well, and just some mentorship there. So, I've known him for quite a while.
Okay. And how would you describe Mr. Walsh?
Mr. Walsh is very funny, he's very outgoing, always loves a good chat, he's very selfless, always puts other people before himself, really friendly, great guy to know.
Thank you. Would you say he displays the Marist charisms?
Yes, he does display the Marist charisms. Any particular ones that you wanted to target?
Yes, Mr. Walsh's family spirit and love of work.
Family spirit and love of work. Mr. Walsh has great kinship with all the staff as well as the students too. Refers to them by nickname, gives them all sorts of funny nicknames, all sorts, which is great. Love of work, he's always in there, 24/7, non-stop. Comes in on weekends, he's still in the workshop, cleaning it up, fixing it up. In their recess and lunch, helping boys finish their work and their projects. After school as well, just puts in that time and effort just to make sure everyone gets the job done.
So he goes above and beyond what he needs to do.
Always above and beyond what he needs to. Very selfless.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for your time. Thanks for coming.
All good. Been a pleasure.
Hello, Mr. Duval.
Yeah.
How do you know Mr. Walsh?
I know Mr. Walsh when he first started here about maybe 6 years ago. And we worked together as teachers and as coaches for basketball especially.
Okay. How would you describe Mr. Walsh?
I would describe Mr. Walsh as one, dedicated, 2, very helpful, and 3, humble and very knowledgeable, and 5, he's just a great guy to talk with and get around with here at school.
Would you say he displayed the Marist charisms?
I like the Marist charism I think of straight away is simplicity. He doesn't fool around too much. He gets on with what he works with, especially with engineering and with students, but also on the basketball court as a coach. He just sticks to the traditional basic ways of coaching, and it works because he gets things done and he gets his team to win.
Okay, thank you for that and the example as well. Would you say displays the Catholic values as well?
One thing that comes straight in mind is the Catholic value of hope. He's always encouraging our students, always thinking of the students in a positive light, and always gives them word of advice on how to improve their behavior or the way they apply themselves to their studies, and even devote himself to that cause after school hours as well.
So you would say he goes above and beyond what he needs to do because he wants to?
Definitely, he does go above and beyond. He helped set up the Master Chef Hanji statue outside the front, the main entrance here at the school, as well as even the garden at the back. At the front of the school, near the senior lawn, and just the things that he does with hands-on experience. It's unmeasurable in a way, because he does like the school, and he did enjoy working in the school.
So James, we know Mr. Walsh has some Marist charisms, but what Catholic values would you say he displays?
I'd say Mr. Walsh displays all of the Catholic values, including freedom from oppression, community and the common good, solidarity, the search for truth and wisdom, as well as all of the others that I've discussed.
Why do you believe he has these values?
Well, I can answer that. According to Matthew 21, verse 12 to 13, Jesus saw something wrong and he fixed it. He went into the temple and threw out the people, disgracing them. Mr. Walsh has never thrown anyone out, but he does put bad people in line. This involves the Catholic values of freedom from oppression and community and the common good. This is because he helps the people that want to learn and puts troublemakers in line. In saying this, he is a very forgiving person, and once you have learned your lesson, he'll forgive you and welcome you back in. This is a key Catholic value, quality that Mr. Walsh displays. This makes him deserve Marist.